and I can tell you, oh my goodness, game changer. And the reason why you do it, blanch it, is to keep the colour, the nutrients in. So can you see how nice thick that is? Pop that in the freezer. Oh, yummy. Yes, 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 yes. You're gonna love this. Hello, welcome back to Farmer's Wife Homestead. I'm Stacey. If this is the first time we're meeting, just popping my old pinny on, and we're gonna get straight into today's video. And sorry, got the dishwasher going. You are not going to believe this recipe. I've been working on it since I got the massive huge collie and some broccoli the other day, and I've been testing it, and I can tell you, oh my goodness, game changer. So it's convenient pre-frozen broccoli collie cheese sauce. Of course, if you don't like broccoli, you can just use collie. If you don't like collie, you can just use broccoli, but we like both of them together. So what I did was I chopped it all up, I blanched it for 3 minutes, and then I made my cheese sauce, and I'm going to show you all the methods, and it works brilliantly. So the great thing is that you can have you can buy your produce in season, or if you've got loads in the garden, and of course broccoli and collie, if you plant them all at the same time, they're ready all at the same time. And yes, you can just blanch them and freeze them yourself, but why not go that extra step? Obviously you can do plain as well, but if you enjoy the cheese sauce with it, this is a great way to make it more convenient for you. I'm definitely going to be putting in some collie and some broccoli soon, so that I've got some in the garden as well, but I'm just going to be really keeping an eye on some really good specials of collie and broccoli, and do a heap more of these convenient bags. And yeah, it's just another aspect of buying in season, and then doing things to make it cheaper in the long run throughout the year that you can use. Anyway, first thing I need to do is get a big pot of water on the boil. Now I processed my 2 broccoli and a good 3/4 of the collie, and the rest of it I've already got chopped up in my little Kmart baggie here. So I'm just going to trim these because you know the ends can get a little bit dry. I'm going to trim these up a bit. I like to leave them a little on the bigger side. It's just nice because then you just get a nice big chunk. So yeah, I'm just going to get some water on the boil, and obviously depending on how much you're going to be processing, choose the size pot that's convenient. The other equipment we're going to need is another big bowl to cool the collie down really quickly. So we're just going to pop that on the stove. We're going to salt it just for some added flavour, and I'm going to trim up this broccoli. Why do I keep saying broccoli? It's cauliflower. I'm not a huge fan of just going to pop that there. A huge fan of pre-frozen collie and broccoli. I just find that it's a little bit mushy, and we had this last night again for dinner, and I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the texture a lot better than just plain collie and broccoli. And I tell you what, it was so simple. I didn't have to get out extra pots to make some cheese sauce. Of course, you know, a lot of people buy the pre-packaged cheese sauce. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that at all, because I understand convenience, but this is why this is brilliant, because this, you know, just take, gosh, half an hour out of the day on a weekend or something like that, do up a whole heap, and you've got some convenient sides, quick sides during the week that can be ready in 20 minutes. Now you can microwave this, but I don't have a microwave. It's a personal choice, but we do have air fryers, and we've had air fryers for quite some time, and I pop it into a dish and in the air fryer, which I'll show you soon. I've already washed this, but I'm just going to give it another rinse. Pop it in the air fryer and cooks up beautifully. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for that water to come up to the boil. So obviously the other thing is, given it's collie and cheese sauce, is we need to make up some cheese sauce, and we'll do that, and I will leave in the description the full recipe for this, including how to blanch it, the cheese sauce, and I will leave that on my website. And in case you didn't know, in case you were new, I do have a website, and I'm putting recipes on there every week and updating it all the time. So even if you've been there before, and plenty of you have said that you love the new website, it's very easy to to not negotiate. It's easy to sort of get around it, and it's always linked in the description of every video, so do check out the website where you will find all my recipes. So I'm going to pop a lid on this and we'll just make it. I've probably got a little bit too much water in there, to be honest. I might just drain off a tiny bit. This is my big massive bowl. And I'm going to pop some ice into here as well, just so that once it's blanched it will get shocked in the cold water and cool real quickly. So while we're waiting for that to come up to the boil, I'm just going to grab a bag of my broccoli. Where did I put it? It's in the other freezer. So I did up 2 bags and used half of the bag yesterday, and then I've got this. I only had 2 little broccolis, so there's not as much broccoli, but so the cheese sauce is frozen onto the florets of the broccoli and the collie, and I got 2 big bags of this, and as I said, I did 2 different methods to see which is the best method. This was the second one. I don't have an example of the first one, but I'm going to go through it all with you and let you know which way I felt was the best way to go. Once I find a really good price for more of this, I'm going to do a whole heap more, and I'm going to use my food saver and vacuum seal some single portions. So what we would eat, like depending on how many's here for the night, like if there was 4, we might have this much, because there's adults and teenagers here. So, and then I might just do some single ones when there's only a few of us here and stuff like that. So I'm going to pop this back in the freezer, but we will get into it, into the methods shortly. Okay, the pot is boiling, so let's get to the next step. So technically, when you are blanching something for the freezer, you bring the water to the boil, as I have, and then you put whatever you're going to, whatever veggie you're going to blanch, and then you start the timer once the water is up to the boil again. Technically, that is what you're supposed to do. I see so many people just chuck it in and then start the timer from there. So technically, that's not the correct way to do it. But am I going to do it that way? Yes, I am. But I just wanted to just clarify that the correct way to do it is once the veggies, the water comes up to the boil again, then you put the timer on. But I'm quite happy enough to do it this way. I prefer the vegetables slightly crispier. And the reason why you do it, blanch it, is to keep the colour, the nutrients in, and the nutrition in, and it's something to do with the enzymes and stuff like that. I'm not scientific, but that's kind of what you're doing. So as you can see, that's brought the temperature down, which is all good and fine. So it would actually take a little while for that to come up to the boil, but in the meantime this is softening and it is starting to cook. So I think that's why a lot of people don't worry about bringing it back up to the boil, and I'm quite happy to do it that way. But that's just a little bit of information for you. So I'm just going to let it come up to a little bit more of a temp, and then it's not going to matter, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to wait for it to come a little bit more up to heat before I start the 3-minute timer, because 3 minutes, if I put in the 3 minutes now, it's not going to cook it long enough. And as I said, you do really want to still have a nice crispy vegetable with your cheese sauce, and the method worked really well. As I said, we had another lot of it last night with our dinner. We had bangers and mash with mashed potato side of this, and brown onion gravy, homemade brown onion gravy. Oh, so good. Can I just say that this glide mat that a lovely viewer sent me, oh, it's just been game changer. Incredible. I will leave it linked in the description if you're interested in it, but gosh, that's made such a difference to my arthritis. So thank you for that. Okay, I'm going to put the timer on for 3 minutes and then come back. The other pieces of equipment you're going to need is, I've just got a tray and I've got it lined with a silicone baking mat. This is I've got these mats, so this is what I used. I'm not sure how, you know, because once it's frozen it's quite a big block. I'm not sure. Oh, that was the second method though, so it might work. What I'm trying to say is I'm not sure how baking paper will go, whether it will stick to it. So, you know, like if you don't have the silicone mats, think about getting one, or try just a couple of florets on some baking paper, pop it in the freezer and just see if it's going to be easy enough. Otherwise, you know, you might have to try a tray or whatever. But yeah, my method is with the silicone lined tray. I've got a colander in the sink and that's going to drain, and then I'm going to run some cold water on it just to shock the collie to cool it down a bit. And then I've got this big bowl of water. I'm waiting to put the ice in at the last minute, and once it's in the water we'll just, you know, let that cool down. Then we're going to pop it on the tray to thoroughly cool before we put the cheese sauce on it, and then we'll get to making the cheese sauce. Of course, if you've got your own recipe for cheese sauce, by all means use your own recipe, but I will share my recipe as well. Okay, so this is just coming up to the boil. The lid kind of helped that, but I've got a minute left to go anyway, so that's good. That's going to be perfect timing. I just love these wooden spatulas that Tony sent me. I'm pretty sure your name is Tony. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And at the end of this video I've got a few thank yous as well, because there we go. So we're going to drain it. Clean hands. I'll just use this. I just want to get that nice and cool as quickly as possible. Now that's pretty cooled down now. Just going to drain it. Obviously if you were doing a bigger batch, which I recommend that you do, bigger batches, then you could reuse that water over and over again. Just put extra ice in there. Okay, so I've got my sheet, and all I'm going to do is just, for now, lay it on here. So I'm going to turn them so that they're mostly facing upwards instead of the stalks. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the two methods. So the two methods I tried is, once I got to this stage, is I had some broccoli and collie, and I got my big bowl it was dry, and I tossed some of them unfrozen with the cheese sauce, and then I put them on a tray so that they were individual florets with some cheese sauce on them, and I will show you how we do it. The other method I tried was to now take these, now that they're cold, cover them and pop them in the freezer, and what I had was free flowed pieces of cauli and broccoli, and then once they were frozen I came and I tossed them in cold cheese sauce, and then I put it back on the tray, spread it out, and then froze it like that. So I wanted to see which was easier and which cooked up better. Both methods were good, but I preferred doing this first method, which is to coat the individual pieces, because once it was frozen like this, it kind of like froze in bigger chunks, and it was a lot harder to break up. I still was able to break it up, but it was in bigger chunks. So yeah, so you can do it either way, whichever way you know you think is easier, but if you freeze these first and then come back, you sort of like double handling. So that's why I preferred the first method. So for today we're going to do the first method. I hope I explained that well enough. So in this pot, I'm just reusing the same pot, I've got some butter, and I'm going to want some flour, now of course your collies and your broccolis are all going to be different weights and sizes and all the rest, so just ad lib how much cheese sauce you think you're going to need. So you could have it extra saucy, or you could have it just sort of covering, so you just want to cook out that flour. So a lovely viewer sent me this lovely little whisk, but I needed a big one as well, so I just brought this one, and I hate it. It's horrid. Absolutely hate it. So I'm going to donate that one and then get myself another better one. Right, now I'm just going to add the milk. Normally I don't measure, but I'm measuring so that I can write the recipe out for you. So I'm putting one lot of milk in first, just to incorporate that butter and flour, which is basically a roux. There's just some things that I cook from feel and touch and sight and stuff, so sometimes having to write out a recipe can be a little bit challenging for me, but we get there. I'm just going to let that heat up, and I'm just going to add a couple of other bits and pieces. So I've got a little bit of veggie stock. I wish they had the big size for the chicken, but they don't. Normally I like to add chicken, but veggie is fine. And you want your cheese sauce to be super thick, not running. Bit of, if you think it's just too hot, just turn it down a tad. You won't really need much salt because the stock does have salt. I think we're going to be good. will be the right thickness. And then I've got some cheese. Again, everything will be linked in the description. We'll just hop on over to the website, which is farmerswifehomestead.com. So you just want to turn it off now and let the residual heat melt that cheese. You can split it if it's too hot, so just turn it off and the heat itself will melt that. So can you see how nice and thick that is? It's like a thick pancake batter. That's perfect. Alright, now the other day when I made this, I let my cheese sauce cool right down, and I think I kind of want to continue to do that, only because I know that that's how it worked when I did it the other day. So I probably should have made this first so it cooled down. So I'm just going to put the plug in my sink and run some cold water into it, and then pop the pot in there and just cool it down like I do with custard. Just cool it down a lot faster, because I'm a day late getting this video out, so I want to get this video edited and out today so that you can, it's not very often that I do same day videos. So we're just going to cool this down, but in the meantime what we will do is pop some into the air fryer now, and that will take 20 minutes to cook up anyway, and this cheese sauce would have cooled down. So let me grab out the pre-frozen stuff and we will cook some up. Alright, because it's just me, I'm not going to do a big family size, it's quite early in the morning, so I'm just going to use a little glass dish. Use whatever oven safe dish that you wish to use, and I'll have this for my lunch. Now see what I mean about the bigger chunks doing it the other method? Let this fit in there. I think it will. I think once it starts to melt down, that'll melt down quite nicely. Or some smaller chunks here. It's only got one little bit of broccoli though, that's alright. And that's what I mean about liking this other method first. So you don't have to add anything else to it at this point. I'm not going to cover it, and I'm just going to pop it in for 10 minutes and then we will go from there. 170, I don't want it too high. So 10 minutes, it's gone by. We're going to get this out and have a look, because everybody's air fryer, microwave, all that sort of stuff is going to heat it differently. So we're just going to have a look and see if it needs some more time. You can see there's a tiny bit of water from the frozen vegetables, so I'm just going to pour that off, and I'm just going to have a look and see. Oh yeah, that's just about done. See, there's a little bit of water that's just come from the frozen vegetables, so it's not going to harm, but I just like to take it off and then just top with, this is obviously, you don't have to put the extra cheese on, but why not? Now I'm just going to pop that back in for another couple of minutes just to do the cheese. While we are waiting for that cheese to just melt, we're going to take our collie. Just watch that bit of water. You don't want that in the cheese sauce. And you want to be very careful that you don't break it up too much. Like, there's still a bit of give to the broccoli. I'm just going to get rid of all that water. And you're just going to give it a mix, but just sort of fold it. As I said, you don't want to break it up. So I probably, for that amount of cheese sauce, I probably could have had some more broccoli, for sure. Broccoli and cauliflower. But that's all I had left, so that's all fine. This is just going to be very saucy. Right. So now that I've done that, and I'm just going to grab some tongs and I'm going to grab the pieces out. Just so that it doesn't freeze into a big block. I know some are going to think, oh, why fiddle around with this, but trust me, it was so good last night. My knee was so bad and I needed some side veg to go with dinner, and I was able to just grab some out of the freezer, chuck it into the air fryer, and I had a wonderful side. Hoping to get it all onto one tray. Move things a little. Doesn't have to be perfect because it will sort of break up. Right, perfect. And if there's anything that looks like it could do with a little bit more cheese sauce, just dab a little bit on the top. Okay, now I've got some residue cheese sauce here. It won't get wasted. I'll package it up. Right. Wrap over it. And pop that in the freezer. Cheese, I just want the cheese a little bit more crispier. So I'm just doing that for another couple of minutes. Yes, so I'll show you what it looks like at the end once it's out in 2 minutes. But just talking about this, once it's frozen, then you can just break off the lumps, as I said and as I showed you at the start, and then pop it into Ziploc bags or any freezer safe bag. You could store it in containers if you wanted to. And you know, I would say that you'd want to use it up within 3 months, but it would last longer. And because the vegetables are coated in that cheese sauce, it's actually going to help with freezer burn and stuff like that. And yeah, so we will go through these. These aren't going to be for long-term storage, so I'm not going to do the vacuum sealing method for this lot. But as I said, that's a way to do some more long-term by freezer, what do you call them, vacuum sealing them. Yeah, I'm trying to calm my brain down to make sure that I've given you all the information. If I think of anything, I will write it in the recipe in the tip section, but I think I've covered everything. Like I said, you know, it's going to depend on you know, your own air fryer, microwave. I did wonder if you could do boil in a bag. Back in the day, we used to have in the freezer section boil in a bag. I remember I used to eat as a teenager, they do, you know, broccoli and cauli cheese sauce in a bag, and then you popped it in a saucepan of boiling water, and then you just cut the edge and bam. You know, this is kind of the same thing. All right. Oh, yummy. Obviously you could take it darker than what I have, but it's ooey and gooey. Yum! How delicious does that look? It's so easy, you know, like you're busy, the kids have got sport, or you know what, this is a great method also for if you are on your own or there's just the two of you, because quite often broccoli and collies are really big, and I don't know about you, but I tried really hard not to have vegetable wastage, and I do sometimes, you know, because I'll get one and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'll use it up, and then sometimes I just don't get to it and then it gets wasted, and I hate it, absolutely hate it. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens too often for me. So this is great to use up, you know, like if you could do a whole batch of it is what I'm trying to say, and you've got no wastage. Do I dare try it on camera? Because it's going to be hot. See? Saucy. Yum. Alright. Gonna give it a go. Got the one piece of broccoli. Oh. So good, and it's still got a bit of crunch to it. Here's a bit of the cauli. Look how saucy that is. That's rather saucy. Who am I? Oh. Yes. You're gonna love this. Please let me know if you try it. Come back to the comments, let me know. I honestly think this is a game changer. This is an awesome idea for a convenience side. It's going to save you money because you're preserving and seasoned produce. Please share it with everyone you know, because honestly it's that good. It's that good. Alright, I'm going to pop this lot in the freezer and then bag that up later, but do come back and let me know in the comments if you give it a go and how you like it. But I'm absolutely loving it. Look forward to the next videos coming up. It's all about preserving right now, because for us it's the season. We need to preserve onions, so we're going to have initially I was going to do a big massive whole day, but my knee's not going to handle it, so I'll do a potato one, I'll do an onion one, and I'll do a carrot one, and that's what we have got to start with. And then there's a whole lot of other things that I need to preserve up as well, so look forward to that, but we'll have other videos as well. Now I've got some thank yous. If you've waited this long, I do have some thank yous, so just pause for a second. So I've been sent some lovely parcels, so I want to say a thank you to some viewers, and the first one I want to share with you is from Isabel, and she's written me a lovely wee letter as well, which I thoroughly enjoy reading. And she was saying that she was going through some bits and pieces, and she found this apron that she hand printed herself, which is amazing, and it has little piggies on it, so of course she thought of me. And look at this. she clever? I absolutely love it. Amazing. Absolutely love it. So look forward to using this apron in the future. So thank you so much, Isabel, and you really need to get back into doing it because you're so talented and it's so cool. And I can't wait for the grandkids to come because I'm sure they'll love to wear that as well. And Stephanie sent me this amazing tool. Look at this. It's a battery operated little chainsaw, and boy have I been using it. It's come in handy. It saves my arms and I absolutely love it. Hubby had to help me put it together because I've never worked with chainsaws, so that was awesome. So that was extremely generous of you to send that to me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Stephanie. And the last one that I've got here is from beautiful little card, and this is from Barbara, and she goes on to tell me it comes with a big thank you for the videos, and her sister Bev and her use many of my ideas and they love my sweet and sour sauce. She's collected old cookbooks and stuff through the years, and she has sent me some of them, and I'm sort of reading, and Bev and I made an apron for you. Hope it's not too big. She goes on to say that they love the fact that I've got a normal kitchen. So look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? Time to wind down. Love it. I don't know, I'm assuming you guys made them. Coffee because it's too early for wine. This is the apron. My goodness. So clever. And I love the cockatoos. Obviously they're from Australia. This is amazing. Love it. You know I love my blue. So I'm going to put that on my oven now. Absolutely love it. It looks so good. Can you see it down there? Perfect. And Lake Maguire. So just some really awesome old recipes. Amish cooking, biscuit slices, the is it Pilliga Public School? You'll have to correct me if you're an Aussie. And it's 1883 to 1983, and it's got like typed up recipes. And St. Patrick's Bega School Community Cookbook. So I'll have some fun looking through these and coming up with some new recipes and things. So thank you ever so much for sending that to me, Barbara and Bev. Thank you so much to everybody who sends me anything. I really appreciate it, and my apron tower is getting really full, and it's nice to go over and go, oh, who am I going to wear today? So yeah, thoroughly enjoy it, and I love getting your cards. And I've run out of thank you cards at the moment, so I've got to get some more ordered, and then once I do I can send some thank yous to you as well. That's going to stay there. Alright, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed it. As I said, please share this video, and it helps make my channel grow if you give it a like, and subscribe as well if you haven't already. It's supposed to be for my lunch, but I only have another piece now. Alright, hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now. It's a winner.